Today on WTV, we are very glad to have with us recording artist Bodine. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm so excited to be on your show today.
Of course, we're excited to have you. So tell us, what are you currently doing? What's this quarantine been like for you? Just tell us what you're up to currently.
Yeah, I'm releasing my new song, ESTAR AQUI, coming out this Friday, which is super exciting because during quarantine, we've definitely been working really hard to create this new body of work, to really rethink what we want to do and what we want to serve visually and sonically. And we've been creating this amazing body of work and content that now we finally having the chance to release.
I think it's amazing. It's more so like a vibe. Like you guys created your own vibe, and I just like love it. I think like just the whole vibe that you've got going on. I don't know if that's just you or you created it, but it's awesome. It's awesome. I
Thank
can't
you
wait for
so
everyone to
much.
see it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It was really a learning experience of different colors and knowing what is the most suitable thing for us as a team and me as an artist and what I really want to represent. So we really took our time to find that, and not only that, but it was more the team, to build the team, the right producers, the right songwriters, the right creative director for everything that we wanted to execute, because it's easy to just say it and to talk about an idea versus really getting it together and deliver exactly what you're envisioning. So for me, that moment right now of watching this happen, it's really satisfying, honestly.
It is. Well, for us too, like I said, it's amazing. So tell me, is that kind of like what type of vibe is that then? Because you mentioned fairies, mermaids, things like what is that vibe that you actually are? Like, who are you exactly? Like, tell us more about that image that you're portraying in your new video.
Well, it's so interesting because I feel that today a trend that is going on, for example, if you, I don't know, open up TikTok, you'll see like feed of like the new conspiracy and that we're not alone. And then you see a spaceship landing somewhere random and all these people
Yes.
stopping to take pictures. And it's become really a more and more thing. And I think people are really intrigued by it and interested and curious. So we were almost like, let's bring that fantasy to life and let's bring that, to the real world. Because even I'm performing now in this new show. We are bringing that to life, that whole fantasy moment. And I think I just want to create something that impacts people and will never forget. They'll go home and be like, "Oh my God, that was so
Yes.
inspired! What an experience!" It's all about the experience, And sonically too, we have over 100 songs, and I said, I want to find something that really matches well with this concept. And this, first single is really the starting point and the color of the EP that we're going to have released by hopefully the end of this year, beginning of this year,
Oh,
next
so what do you have envisioned then? Like, how many more songs? Just like for your EP
year.
total?
Yeah, I mean, it started 5, now we're on 7.
Oh, I'm sure you can keep going. If it's all like
Yeah,
this
we
amazing work,
know.
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's so interesting because it's very hard to kind of explain it to people. Like, oh, I want to do this concept and it's going to sound like this, versus really seeing it and listening to it in real, time. Then people understand, connect, and they're like, oh, you know what? I want to be part of this. So what is going on is that people are watching this, and then I get a phone call like, hey, remember that feature that you proposed? Like, I really want to do it.
Hmm.
I'm down to do like a crazy video too. It's like, okay, well, cool. I love that. So lately we've been getting some nice collaborations and featurings coming in. So that's why from 5 to 7, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, but now that we have that, yeah, we were just extending a little bit the project, and we're gonna have some cool singles coming out before, of course, that EP release. And I think it's gonna give like a 360 idea of what we're trying to bring to the table.
That's awesome. And for your music video, because I wanted to know, because I saw, like we said, okay, a little clip of it and then pictures. How long did it take for your whole imagery and the hair and the whole outfit? Like, how long did that take? And what was that process like for you? Because it's so cool. I love
Yeah,
it.
no, I mean, I was ready for hair and makeup. I was sitting on the chair since 5 a.m. I remember we shot it in LA, so I was sitting in the hotel room, and at 5 a.m., somebody knocked the door and it was the hairstylist. And,
Yeah.
to get the whole prosthetic and the whole character on point, it takes about like 6 to 7 hours to really
Wow.
make that happen if you want to do stuff right,
Yeah.
But I think it pays off, and now we want to really build on that base, and I think we're gonna really impact people in a way that it becomes hopefully something to be an inspiration one day for other artists.
Oh,
Let's see.
absolutely. Well, I have another question. So every other song that you're going to come out with, is it going to be kind of different vibes per song, different like images, different things like that? Or is it going to go along the lines of what you have set now?
The idea is to really become a surprise every time, that surprise people with something completely different, and maybe even take it to a level that maybe it is uncomfortable for people. And I think this is a good start to people digest of what I really want to bring, but we're not scared of doing something completely upside down in a term. The most beautiful I feel as a woman is through my music. I feel really beautiful with my sound. I feel really beautiful in that term. So there's nothing that makes me insecure visually. So if I have to, like, I don't know, put a third eye on my head or like shave my head for a bit, it doesn't scare me.
Oh, you would do it.
I
Because
mean,
wow. Yeah.
I'm just saying something crazy, but my point is more like I'm not afraid of really going outside the box and be creative, visually, and stimulating that part.
I get that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where do you get your inspiration from? Is it something that's like really just in you that comes alive? Like we said, is it just like your essence coming to the table here? Or like where does that inspiration really come from? Like where does that come from as an artist?
Uh, well, visually, I come from a background also from fashion. I worked for a model for a long time besides doing music. And I think I got exposed to a lot of very cool creative directors and stylists that has always been, very present. And that world of, I love the drag queens and the drama, and, RuPaul, and bringing that fantasy, like that crowd. I mean, that's fire. That is like some real stuff. And that is something that fantasy moment is something that I always would love to incorporate in anything I do. But I think the sense of fashion and the people that I'm working with, like right now, my creative director is Prince Chinoa from Galore magazine. He has really a vision of outside the box, and working together with him hand to hand, it's just been such an inspirational moment for me too personally. So we've already been talking about second and third concept, and
Mhm.
he's like, "Do you dare to do that?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." So
That's awesome.
that's
That's
the
awesome.
only preview I can really give you. It's
And I
been really a process and a roller coaster, being a woman in this industry. And there was a point where I was my own manager, my own creative director, my own songwriter, my own producer, my own everything. And that's one of the reasons I put everything in pause, and I said, look, you know what? I already know, I'm very clear of what I want, but now it's a question more of really building a team that supports this vision. So we took our time to put that together, and now we're here, and I think we're getting somewhere, so.
yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your background. Like, where did you actually get started from? Like, you did all, okay, modeling, Miss Universe, Puerto Rico, like all of that. What was that experience like? Where did you get started from? Like, before any of this, where were you to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I went to school, to the conservatorium in Puerto Rico for trained in classical piano. So I'm really a pianist. And then I decided to enter more university level, and I auditioned. I prepared my exam for musical composition, and I got accepted. So I went to school for that. And at the same time, I got the opportunity to be part of the Miss Puerto Rico pageant, which was a great experience, and immediately got a contract to work in New York as a model. And there were difficult times because music is my passion, and it's what I've really dedicated myself towards. But you still have to get your bread on the table, and you still have to make a living. So it was kind of hard doing that transition. And I promised myself that when I have the chance and the right timing to transition back into music, I was going to do it. And that's exactly what happened. I kept myself active in music no matter what, during the time that I was in New York working. And it just happened that I had some voice notes recorded in my phone, and with some piano chords and progressions, and it just happened to be sent it out to a friend of a friend, and a friend sent it to a producer, and next thing I know, I'm in the studio with great producers, like, oh, let's give it a shot, and we worked really hard on creating records, and then I eventually worked with this producer called Develop, and this other amazing producer from Spain called Odd Liquor. And that's where my first record came out, Solo Pa Mi. And from there, it's just been a growing process. And now I'm here with my own team with my two super producers, Zay and Black 95, with my writer Santi and some other cool writers from Puerto Rico. And, now we're doing our own little thing, and I think people are kind of liking it because I'm getting all these people reaching out saying like, okay, now we get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. As an
Yeah,
audience, like we said, we get it too. It's like awesome.
yeah,
So
cool.
that's cool. But do you think like, everything was like fated for you to all of this to kind of happen? It just kind of like went into this great thing that became you, like just where you're at today. That's just awesome. Do you think that was just kind of like fated to happen? Like you just kind of like your destiny per se?
I'm gonna be honest. Well, I'm honest, but um, it you there's a part of it that people say, oh, don't ever give up, don't give up on your dreams, it's very important to pursue and keep going no matter what. And there was a moment where I really thought, I don't think I can do this because, with the pandemic, it was just so hard
Mm.
for everybody. It was just it sucks, it's a disaster. um Hopefully we're now getting out of it, and hopefully we find a solution for it, but I like to think about everything in a positive way.
Mhm, mhm.
So at the beginning it was like, okay, what I'm going to do now, people are thinking about
Of
themselves, not
course.
about what I'm going to do with Bodine. She's an artist, let's keep go. People are not thinking that way. They're thinking, okay, there's something happening in the world, are we okay, am I okay,
Right.
is my house, what are we going to it's so people, it was a huge shift.
Yeah.
And so the structure of the team kind of crashed, and it was just very tough on me. And there was a big part of me that I said, I don't think I can start all over again.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
just hard. But when you have a passion and you believe in it, there's just something, it won't let you stop. You have to do it. So I said to myself, like, I have to do this, I'm inspired, I have to keep going. And it was actually a very good thing because I discovered myself even more, like I said, as an
Mhm.
artist. And it kind of, all the puzzle pieces just came together. And I feel that when you're not even thinking it too much, it's just, everything is just happening. And when it's like that, it's because you're just very positive. And I
Yeah.
think people, when you have positivity, like, you attract the right
Absolutely. So, is there any other artists that you'd like to collaborate with? Anything that you see like a vision for you? Any artists?
Yeah, I mean, I just love how women are taking over right now more in this part of the industry because, like I said, it's not easy. Um, but right now, I just love that. I have always been a fan of Kelly Uchis, and I think she's always been a risk taker, and it's paying off big time, and it's beautiful. Her body of work is just impeccable. So I'm a big fan. I would love to. And there's also like new wave artists coming up, girls like Gendry. She's super cool. Tokishka, like, she's in a different level. I know she's working on some big stuff. But also, like, from Puerto Rico, a big shout out to Villano Antillano. She's a queen.
Mm.
And already talked a little bit about doing something. So let's see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love the fact that we're taking over, and it's time. It's definitely time.
That's nice. So tell us a little bit about your Miami lifestyle. Like, what is it like living in Miami? Like, what do you like about it? What do you do every day?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I I lived in New York, and I decided to live in Miami because basically all the producers are here. And even more today, songwriters and producers and even big artists are moving to Miami because it's become like, the zone of the middle point for everybody to meet up and work, in the Latino side. But Miami, it's a super cool place. You have the beach a little bit, you have cool clubs, cool crowds, good restaurants, and it's a good combination for inspiration as well, but I would never give up Miami. It's definitely my home right now, and I feel that my team is even based here right now, so it's more convenient and meant to be. I promise. I can't tell you, it's awesome. Literally any party I go or any event, it's like everybody's here, and so everybody
Yeah.
knows each other, and everybody's like, in contact with everybody. So, once you're in, it's kind of cool to like, see that for yourself, how people like that dynamic. It's kind of cool.
Well, what is Puerto Rico like? Is it different than like Miami? Obviously, like we've been to Puerto Rico too, so we love Puerto Rico. But what is that like for you? Yeah.
Well, Puerto Rico is just a whole different vibe. I even feel more elevated when I'm there, in terms of creativity. There's something about Puerto Rico that, you breathe the air there and you just want to create. And it's really it's so beautiful. And to me, like, I'm getting nostalgic right now. I miss my island.
Yeah, sure.
My mom is living there still. She loves it. I try to visit as much as I can, even for work and personal, but I feel so lucky that I got to be raised in Puerto Rico because I got really both worlds
Mhm.
in me, from Holland and from Puerto Rico. And, from my music and visual, it really gave me like a cool perspective, I think, of what I really want to execute.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit more about your background. You're from the Netherlands then, and then Dutch, and like just everything, like your whole background. Tell us, like, yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, no, I was born in Holland, in
Oh.
Amsterdam. I
Mhm.
lived there for 10 years, and then when I was like around 11, my family decided to move to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
And so, and then I lived there for another 10 years. So I would say really I got 10 and 10, like really from both worlds. Um, and I think that that mix right now is giving me access to work with really cool producers, even from
Mhm.
Holland.
Mhm.
I have a bunch of music done with young Felix. He's like an awesome producer. He's doing a lot of music there for Busy and Prince Pokey and like a lot of cool artists. So we have that, and then with my mix coming from Puerto Rico, with my writers that I have, I think it's such a cool fusion that we're gonna bring to the table in these coming months.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then
Mhm.
tell us, I wanted to ask you, do you kind of have like, do you eat healthy at all? Or like, what's your lifestyle like that? Like,
Mhm.
do you work out? What is that aspect like for you?
Well, I danced all my life. I was trained classically in ballet. Sorry. So I love here and there to take, my ballet classes, and I'm into this new thing like pole dancing. It's hard. It's
Oh,
really,
wow. Yeah.
there's a great
That's
studio
cool.
here in Miami in the Wynwood area that I love. It's great. And I try to hit the gym like, a few times in the week, but it's more about not even looking great. I actually do it just because it makes me happy,
Yeah. 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 I get that.
that's all. You want to feel great, you want to feel happy, and like I said, being a positive person, I think that is key for anything you
Mm.
really do,
Well, do you do anything like, are you kind of like a spiritual person? Do you meditate? Because you seem so mellow. That's why I'm asking. Do you
yeah.
meditate at all? Do you like, I don't know, do any of that
I'm
stuff or like,
Yeah, I'm actually into Bikram yoga. I think it's
oh,
like
yoga?
super cool, like hot yoga. It's like 90-minute like superpower yoga in the heat, but it's great. It's like it
Oh,
squeezes
wow.
everything out of your body, and it makes you really focus on whatever goal you're setting in life. And also I love to do a little bit of Kundalini yoga. I don't know if
Oh,
you
you
know about
do?
that.
I do. I'm very familiar with
Yeah.
it. That's what I was asking.
No,
Yes.
it's great. It's really great. It centers you, and it gives you, also a great perspective on everything you're doing.
Because you seem very connected. That's what I was like. There
Yeah.
must be some
Oh,
sort of spiritual something going on, something. Yeah. That's
thank you.
awesome. That's cool. That's
Thank
cool.
you.
And then, so did you mention, so do you eat healthy or not? Like, do you eat clean? Do you eat junk food? Do
Yeah,
you eat like, what's that diet like for you?
I'm gonna be very frank. Like, I try to eat as much as I can in my house, that it's like homemade, but it's kind of tough when you're like in studio hours and you're working in
Mm-hmm.
the studio, you have no option and stuff, and when you're on the road. But I I've never done any type of diet in my life. I'm very appreciative. Anything that comes on my table, that's what it is. So that's what we're going for. But if it's about favorite food, yeah, I'm a rice and bean girl. I'm from the
Mm.
island, so
Ah, nice. Do you
there's
cook?
nothing that
Like,
can beat that.
can you cook well? Like, do you cook or just you
Yeah,
like?
yeah. I love to cook. I
Oh, that's
have my
awesome.
dishes here and there, but definitely the Latin flavors is what I love.
That's awesome. So is that like, do you cook like a lot of that type of food at home? Like, is that like the main?
Um, yeah, I try to, my long hours of sessions, sometimes I come back home like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. It's very exhausting. And so it's just like, oh, let's just open up crack up a yogurt. Let's just do that. But yeah, I when I have the time to do it, I try to explore a little bit of everything.
Well, we're gonna get just like a last question here. We're gonna get a little bit personal here, like dating life. Like, how's that? Do
Oh,
you have a dating life? Do you not? We like asking all like
no, 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 no.
relationship stuff.
I'm long off the market. I'm happy. I have my partner, so that's for now.
Oh,
That is all good. That's all in balance.
oh, okay, that's good. Because we like asking love stories for everybody. Like every interview, if you watch our interviews, we're like, "What's your love
Yeah.
story? Anything like? Was it a good love story? Anything like that you could share?
Uh,
Like anything good that
um,
like?
yeah, no, nothing really, outside the box. I think, when things happen and you let yourself go, I think they're just meant to be. And I think that's where I am at right
Oh,
now.
that's good. See, there you go, being inspirational again. I like that. I like that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so everyone can tune into your new song in 2 days.
Yes.
And anything else that you wanted to share to everybody? Your new music video? Anything
Yeah,
else?
no, please go check out my new music video this Friday. It's going to be super awesome. World of Fantasy of Bodine. And it's going to be available on every single platform. So please download and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can keep updated with all the fun stuff that we're going to be uploading.
Awesome. Do you have like a time schedule that it's going to be like coming out or just August 27th? Like when is it going to come out? When can people look forward to that?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be active on all platforms and letting everybody know what's cooking. But definitely at midnight, the song is gonna be out. And I would say like by October, maybe single number two. Let's see what happens. It all depends
Ooh,
on how this one goes. But I think if everything rolls good, how we're hoping, then yeah, that'll be
that's
pretty.
that's awesome. We can't wait. Thank you so much. And we're
Fun.
excited to see the full video too. Good luck
Yeah.
on everything and good success for everything.
Yes,
Thank
of
you
course.
again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.